We have an excellent matchup coming up now for the under 60 kilogram category for our female division. This is a main event final from a former world champion, Lara Armas, who is from France and faced up against another Russian. Big rivalry here, France versus Russia, where Ekaterina, we'll go Kat for short, is challenging her title.
I know that in the backstage you have the whole French team very much counting on this match, Lara being one of the a central figure in the French Chessboxing Federation. That's
right. She's been involved for a long time. She's done a great job of helping to build the program in France and still stays a competitor, which we love to see. Here we have a strong opening from both players. The e4 pawn does fall.
And it is a pawn. It's a good pawn.
It's a clean pawn. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So White will get probably a tiny little bit of compensation, which is normal. That happens when you do win a pawn. You're going to take time to take that pawn. So, for example, that piece that was exchanged took 3 tempos out. So White's slightly better developed, but a pawn is a pawn. And when things will balance themselves out, we're happy to have digested it.
Mm-hmm.
Lara has a bit of a funny story because her sister and I think all of her family had titles in chess, French junior champion, things like that. And Lara was a bit of the ugly duckling, so to speak, in that respect. And so she said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to become a world champion. And she did.
And that's exactly what she did, and did it in badass fashion, having boxing involved with the chess. But back to this game, really strong play from both players so far.
Definitely, but that pawn loss in the center, now it's been totally digested, and we see this big, strong center being created for black. I'm not exactly sure how you're going to deal with that, but there's also the bishop pair.
Now putting the rook in jail. Where's that rook going to go?
It doesn't. These are temporary factors. You're going to kick that knight back out. You're going to move the bishop, and the rook can go wherever it wants. We don't even have an open file yet, so it doesn't really matter where it goes. Probably the c file might open at some point, but it remains to be, it's open for discussion.
So we'll see where this knight is going to go. Is it coming back to c3?
That wasn't much of a choice, and now probably she will want at some point to open a file, because okay, if you take the pawn on d4 and then you got 2 central pawns against none, so that should have some kind of effect. If you manage to push them forward, I don't like that move. The c2 pawn, the c3, the whole c file seems slightly weakened because of that advance. The only bright side is that, for example, you're fixing the queenside pawns, so if at some point you want to play a4, but here I don't think that it really trumps the downsides.
Yeah, that c-file ripe for the taking, but the rook delayed in getting there, having to move the bishop out of the way in order to be able to swing that rook in.
Indeed, she could have immediately started with the other rook. The thing is, the c2 pawn was protected, so it wasn't a big deal. I think Lara at this point is just wanting to play normal moves, not make any, not make her position, compromise her position in any way before the round of boxing, and then take it from there.
That's right. Very solid chess from both fighters. Not a clear advantage either way. And both competitors making their way to the ring with very determined, very serious looks on their faces. So we are back to regular chessboxing rules, meaning we start on the chessboard, and when we get to the boxing ring, it is no longer 90 seconds. It is 3 minutes. There is no helmet. There are 12-ounce gloves, and these two fighters are going to be going at it, just like we saw in the last match with Hassan emerging victorious, advancing to the finals. We are in for a treat between these two competitors. Again, we have Ekaterina from Russia in the red or white corner, and then we have Lara from France, also in the black, aka blue corner.
She's from France, but she speaks English, French, German, Russian, and Indian, apparently.
Yes, her husband from India, and being quadlingual prior to that. Yeah. All right, gloves have been touched. Valfongo is overseeing this World Championship final match. Valfongo, the the fighter from, I'm sorry, not the fighter, the organizer for this year's World Championship from Italy. Very good boxing so far from the Russian.
Lara not finding her stability. She's trying to move way too much.
Seemed pretty frantic and catches a clean counter. Russian fighter advancing with her hands down. This is so far not a very technical opening to this round.
The thing with Lara, I think she does chess box. Well, she boxes once a year in this event. So she doesn't get much experience. I think she just does it for the challenge each year, new challenge. And this time she has a new opponent.
Very stiff jab from the Russian competitor. She's doing a good job of not just dictating her distance, but also dictating her power. I mean, she is landing heavy shots early in this chess boxing match.
Well, she's obviously been schooled very well. Lara got a nice right hook in there as a counter. Oh.
Shot to the back of the head is actually a warning from Volfango to Lara for not turning her back to her opponent. That's why the shot to the back of the head happened. A stiff jab knocks the head back for Lara. Volfango stepping in to give a standing 8 count. A brief rest. That is one knockdown for the Russian. If she scores 2 knockdowns in a round or 3 in a match, the fight is over. Another
There's
great
something
jab.
wrong with her guard. She needs to be much tighter on her guard. It's always getting through.
She's fighting off of her back foot. She's retreating without giving her opponent something to have to deal with. There isn't a jab while she retreats. She isn't circling or moving laterally. There she has a little lateral movement. That's good. She needs more of that. But now she finds herself up against the ropes, holding on to one hand, but the other hand pounding away. The Russian absolutely dominating this boxing round now.
I think Volfango's reluctant to stop because they know that Lara wants to win. But at the same time, I'm thinking that it's very close to another stoppage here.
I think we are low on time in this boxing round. If she stays alive, she will be able to.
That's maybe slightly illegal. She was holding her. Oh, there is.
This will be it.
Yeah. Well, she'll be disappointed, obviously, but I think probably justified. Oh no, there's
Volfango.
I believe that was. I thought it was 2. I thought that was his own rules.
Maybe for the finals, it's different.
Maybe. Oh, because yes, longer.
3 instead of 2.
Okay. That's fine. My mistake.
That makes sense. I thought the same as you.
Yeah.
Because in every fight leading up to the finals, it is 2 stoppages in a round or 3 in a fight. Now, because it is the finals, it is 3 stoppages in a round or 4 in a fight. Our normal rule set.
Because there are more rounds to go.
Well, more rounds, but also there are no fights after this. The reason why we reduce it from 3 to 2 in a round is because they have multiple fights to go after, because we're in World Championship tournament format. So they want to preserve the fighter. This is the last fight of the tournament for both of these fighters, so they can go for the regular rule set of 3.
Okay, I was under the impression that it was actually something else. It was just because otherwise the boxers are too much of a disadvantage because he might only get 1 round of boxing.
No, because in other World Championships, it's been this same format, but with 3 and 4, and we've had a lot of injuries. So they've opted for this approach to try to have as many healthy fighters as we can making it to the finals.
So she definitely still has a better position, and
Lara doing a great job of taking her time, getting back to the chessboard, breathing, recovering before continuing her chess match. She being cheered on by her French team. It is hype in here with all the Russians in the red corner, all the French in the blue corner. Very exciting environment to be in if you're a chess boxing fan or from either of these countries.
It absolutely is.
So assessing this position as we start back on this round, would you give a slight edge on either side, or would you say it's relatively equal?
No. The black most definitely does have the advantage here. The C file is open. There are things hanging. It's much easier to find targets. Whereas both rooks are lined up there on that E6 pawn, which is rock solid. They're never going to sacrifice. There's no mates. The queens are off the board, so that isn't really an option. Here, it's mostly about not giving anything away, not giving any kind of counterplay. Probably just doubling rooks on the C file, waiting for white to turn up with something.
Yeah, this pressure coming from the queen side for black is impressive. The bishop pair both staring down at the king side, and those rooks, to your point, about to be doubled on the c file where that pawn is weakened by the advanced b pawn.
There you go. I think you could they're just moves to play, and they're moves that you can play quickly because they're just logical places to go. So once you've done that, you can have another logical thing to play knight to b6 to c4 to that square that's protected by the 2 pawns, and you would be attacking the source of the pawn chain from there.
A very high outpost, very hard to break up without having to trade away one of your knights, and that's what would have to happen. So we'll see if she opts for that configuration of the knight, or if she tries to mount an attack on that c3 pawn.
I think she can just go from one to the other and keep on putting pressure and just playing fast, because what she wants to do basically is win on time. That's all you want from your superior position. That's the for me, it's always been the key to my success, at least.
And a lot of success you've had in this chess boxing world. So we do have a distinct time advantage. I'm just now recognizing Lara up almost 4 minutes on the clock. That's going to come into play.
Is she capable of winning on time in this round, or how much time is left on the clock?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think we will see another boxing round unless checkmate is delivered. So she will have to navigate another boxing round against a stronger boxer.
Definitely. And so she's had 2 counts. Is she allowed another 2 counts now in the next round?
Correct. There needs to be 2 stoppages for the Russian fighter in the next round in order for it to be considered a TKO.
Okay. Well, generally, you know, after a bad first round, you can have those bad first rounds. The second one, you're a little, you know, actually the nerves are stabilized. You've digested something or other, and your corner tells you to stay calm. You know, they're going to give you 1 or 2, you know, hints like, you know, get your guard a little bit tighter, do something. They've seen something and they're going to tell you. So maybe for the first 30 seconds to a minute, you're actually going to get away with something.
Very true, and there's the 10-second warning with less than a minute left for Ekaterina. So Ekaterina is essentially looking down the barrel of if she does not score a TKO in this next boxing round, she loses. There's no way she's going to be able to go up against the 5 minutes and 14 seconds of Lara. Lara's put herself in an excellent position to be able to win this on chess in the next round, but what she needs to do is engage her defense, be really, really good at moving around the ring, staying away from the dangerous weapons that our Russian boxer has, and survive this. And if she survives, she wins. If she succumbs to two stoppages, either knockdowns or Volfongo, the referee, stepping in, then she loses the match.
But this is very much the old style that we had in the early days. It was very difficult to find fighters, and so you would have one guy keen to do it, he was a boxer, another guy keen to do it, he was a chess player. And from the very start, we knew what was going on. You know, it was one guy was the hero. You know, like, you know, going out with the courageous, you know, on his white horse, so to speak, but without
it's
much
cat and mouse.
Yeah, exactly.
but roles reversed when you go from one battlefield to the other.
Well, it's always somebody has to be out of their comfort zone. If somebody's in their comfort zone in both, somehow you're missing out on the experience.
That's right, and what a match this has been. Just absolute beautiful boxing and athleticism displayed by Russia, which we're about to see again. And let's see if Lara finds another gear here. Able to defend herself, stay away, jab, give Ekaterina something to have to think about. The first punch actually landed by Lara here. Great. A good roll and clinch.
There you go.
This is what she needs to be doing.
That's
Miss a punch
corner.
And hold onto an arm. Miss a punch and grab onto the neck. You just need to keep clinching, not let those big, powerful shots land, and need to fight back too. Wow, a very early stoppage. Not what you want to see if you're a French fan right now. That was a very, very big fight. Volfongo looking into the eyes of Lara, making sure she's okay to continue, and she is. One more knockdown in this fight, one more knockdown or stoppage, and Russia will advance and win the World Championship. But Lara is not giving up that easy. She is holding on to one hand, the other hand clenched. And there we have it. That is 4 stoppages in the fight. And that will be it for Lara, the defending world champion. It is over. We have a new world champion hailing from Russia. Ekaterina wins the under 60 kilogram division for the female chess boxing division. Congratulations to Russia and to Ekaterina on a fight well fought. Time ending up not being an issue in that one. She ended it in the boxing ring before they could get back to chess.
Well, it was heads or tails, really, wasn't it? It was if you make it, or either you make it or you don't. You know, it could go either way. Well, the smiles come back, and
nothing but smiles. Good sportsmanship from these rival teams.
A new friend.
And yes, that's right. You learn from it. You move on. But a big congratulations to both fighters for making it to the finals, and to Ekaterina for taking it home to Russia.
It means so much to the Russians, because they put so much effort in the structure that they're bringing to their internal chess boxing development.